Question number 15 on the reading portion of College Board's Test 5. As used in line 12, peculiar most nearly means. As always with the vocab, identify it in the passage. Come up with your own associations or definitions of the word by reading context surrounding it before you plug in the answer choices. But I'm going to go all the way to line 6 just for context. But while women hold a subordinate relation in society to the other sex, it is not because it was designed that her duties or influence should be any less important or all-pervading, but it was designed that the mode of gaining influence and of exercising power should be altogether different. So the way that women gain influence and gain power and exercise power is altogether different and peculiar. So peculiar means, in a way, I think, well, different and peculiar. These words have to mean roughly the same thing. So altogether different and different. Peculiar. It's like special to the way women do things. Because, if we remember, for context in the story, women do things their own way. Women exert their influence and exercise power through their own sphere of influence, through the home, through the domestic circle, through associations with other women. Women exert their influence not in the traditional ways that men do, according to Beecher. So she's saying the way that women influence things is going to be different and peculiar compared to those of men. Different. Okay, and peculiar. Let's take a look at some of these words. Different and eccentric. Eccentric means that you're like weird or odd. It's like the eccentric millionaire or eccentric billionaire. You know, it's like, or like Howard Hughes is an eccentric industrialist. It means that you're like a little bit off. But I don't think she's deriding, or I almost think of that as being not necessarily 100% negative, but it's not good. So I don't think that she'd be saying that it's eccentric, the way that women do things are just like kind of bizarre and out there. I'm not liking that connotation. Surprising. Altogether different and surprising. Even though it might be surprising to you how women, you know, how she thinks women ought to influence society, is she saying that it's surprising? We're saying it's different. Just because something's different and peculiar, you know, oh, that person has a peculiar way he deals with the situation. He has a peculiar walk. He has a peculiar look. It's like a little bit different. So altogether different and surprising. It's not like shock. It's not like we're shocked, like, oh my God, I didn't expect that to happen. Distinctive. Oh, maybe different. When something is different, it's distinctive. It's altogether different and distinctive. When something is distinct, it means that it's it has attributes for one thing and one thing only, or it's unique, or nearly unique, or it's, you know, very again, different and distinctive. It's noticeable. It is one out of a million. That's the one distinct feature that I realize, you know. So like, what's a distinct feature of New York City? You could argue it's the skyscrapers, it's the Empire State Building. That's the distinct thing that you think of or you look at when you talk about a whole. So it's all together, the way that women do things is different and distinct, because women do things differently than everyone else. When you talk about the way women influence society, it's through their social sphere. It's through their influence. And that is distinct, or in a way, nearly unique. So I like distinctive actually. As used in line 12, peculiar most nearly means infrequent. Altogether different and infrequent. Infrequent means that it doesn't happen often. There's a time interval associated with that. This has nothing to do with, this is not time dependent. Infrequent means it doesn't, you know, a solar eclipse happens infrequently. I don't understand how time matters here. Eccentric means like odd. Surprising, we're not being surprised by anything, and I think it's distinct because when something is different, it's distinct. Or you say like, oh, this restaurant was, you know, the restaurant was 1 in a million. It was very peculiar the way the decor was. You could say it was a very distinctive decor. The answer number 15 is going to be C.